Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 10, name the opulence of the Absolute, verse number 18. So we can repeat after me. Vistareṇātmano yogam vibhūtiṁ ca Janārdana bhūyaḥ kathaya tṛptir śṛṇvato nāsti me amṛtam vistareṇātmano yogam vibhūtiṁ ca Janārdana bhūyaḥ kathaya tṛptir śṛṇvato nāsti me amṛtam vistareṇātmano yogam vibhūtiṁ ca Janārdana bhūyaḥ kathaya tṛptir śṛṇvato nāsti me amṛtam. Word to word meaning. Vistareṇa, in detail. ātmanaḥ, your. Yogam, mystic power. Vibhūtiṁ, opulences. Cha, also. Janārdana, O killer of the atheists. Bhūyaḥ, again. Kathaya, describe. Tṛptiḥ, satisfaction. He, certainly. śṛṇvataḥ, hearing. Asti, there is not. My. amṛtam, nectar. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. O Janārdana, again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you. For the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. Purport. A similar statement was made to Sūta Gosvāmī by the ṛṣis of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka. That statement is, Ayam tu na vitrapyama uttama shloka vikrame yat śṛṇvatam rasa jnanam swadu swadu pade pade. One can never be satiated even though one continuously hears the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, who is glorified by excellent prayers. Those who have entered into a transcendental relationship with Krishna relish at every step the descriptions of the pastimes of the Lord. Śrīmad Bhagavatam 1.1.19. Thus Arjuna is interested in hearing about Krishna, and specifically how he remains as the all-pervading Supreme Lord. Now, as far as amṛtam, nectar, is concerned, any narration or statement concerning Krishna is just like nectar. And this nectar can be perceived by practical experience. Modern stories, fiction, and histories are different from the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, in that one will tire of hearing the mundane stories, but one never tires of hearing about Krishna. It is for this reason only that the history of the whole universe is replete with references to the pastimes of the incarnations of Godhead. The Puranas are histories of bygone ages that relate the pastimes of the various incarnations of the Lord. In this way, the reading matter remains forever fresh despite repeated readings. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Desha Tarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurati Vise Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, Krishna, all attractive Krishna. This is the meaning of the word Krishna. He attracts. So he attracts in many ways. To his activities, to his words, to his pastimes, and so many things. To his name also. We all got attracted by the name. We can recall the first time when we heard the Hare Krishna mantra. The first time we completed our first round of Hare Krishna mantra. We can all recall that experience. It might be different, or we can say it might be transcendental. So Krishna is mischievous. He's not a god like some other religion sect. They have a conception. If we say Krishna is stealing from the house of the gopis, the Christians will say, oh, God can't be like this. If we say Krishna, when he doesn't get anything from the house of the gopis, he goes there and passes stool and urine, the Christians will say, oh, this is too much. How can God do like this? But Krishna is like this. And why can't Krishna be like this? He is God. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is free to do anything and everything. So why are we limiting him? Oh, he should be like this. Why? So this means that we are God. We are trying to become God and trying to limit Krishna. But Krishna is unlimited. That's why we cannot understand Krishna. Only Krishna can explain how he is. This is what he's trying to do in Bhagavad Gita. He's trying to explain Arjuna what he is. So Krishna steals and begging Krishna with her. And Krishna was saying, oh, please leave me. Give me one more chance. Be merciful to me. No mercy to you. You're doing this every day. Doing something. If you don't get anything, you pass stool and urine at our house. What is this? It's too much. So no, today you will get some lesson. Then she drags him. And Krishna says, okay, but at least cover my head with some cloth. I'm feeling ashamed of being caught like a thief. Please cover my head. Cover my face at least. People are looking at me, staring at me. I'm not comfortable. Okay, that I will do. So she covers with her own knee and the face of Krishna. And she arrives at the house of Krishna. And she shouts, Yashoda, come out. I've caught the thief. Your son is a thief, is a big thief. And I'm not a liar. Today I have proof with me. So Yashoda comes and says, what happened? Every day you come with some complaint. What's new now? See your boy. I caught him. He was stealing butter for my house. My boy? And immediately Krishna arrives behind Mother Yashoda. Says, what happened, Mother Yashoda? And this gopi gets shocked. Oh, what's this? From where he arrived? He was just with me in my hand. And then she looks, opens the dupatta and see, it's her own son. Her own son is there. And Krishna is behind. And she says, you are a liar, you gopi. Go away from here. You're always accusing my boy for something which he never does. And she gets in a shock of her life. And she goes back to her home. And she was walking thinking, how this happened? Krishna was in my hand. I was holding him. So how did that happen? And when she again looks, there is Krishna. And he gives her a warning. Next time you go, it won't be your son. It will be your husband. So be careful. Don't repeat this again. If you hear this pastime, I might have shared this pastime around 20-50 times. But still is ever fresh. It's never bored. If you share some pastime of your life with others, it gets bored sometime. But pastimes of Krishna and his devotees are ever fresh. They are never bored. We can hear again and again. We are chanting Hare Krishna mantra. People say we don't have taste. Okay? So give your bead bag now. And from tomorrow onwards, you dare to chant Hare Krishna. You cannot chant Hare Krishna. Not even without your beads and even with your beads. We'll be afraid because we want to chant Hare Krishna. So we all have taste. It's not like we don't have taste. We have not realized that taste. That's the only thing. We all have some taste. So Krishna pastime, Krishna's opulence is nectarian. And you can hear more and more and more. So Arjuna is asking Krishna, please share me something about your opulence. And it's interesting, Arjuna is not asking, share your Ras Leela. That's more nectarian. He's saying, your opulence is also nectarian. So what is Krishna's opulence? If we ask, what is opulence of Krishna? Because Krishna is everything, if you see. Everywhere Krishna is. He's saying here, Aham sarvasya prabhava. I'm everywhere. I'm present everywhere. So this is one opulence of Krishna. So by hearing this opulence also, Arjuna is experiencing nectar. And some people, they want to hear only Ras Leela, nothing else. They say, Bhagavad Gita is for someone, some lower bhaktas. We are higher bhaktas, we want Ras Leela only. Bhagavad Gita is not for us. That's their conception. But Arjuna is experiencing nectar here. So that's one point. Second, already Krishna says that I'm present everywhere. So why Arjuna is requesting one more time Krishna to share these opulences? Because Krishna explains, Mad gate na antar ātmanaḥ. Always abide in me. Think of me within yourself. Always thinking of Krishna. Never forgetting Krishna. Then, in the last verse of chapter 9, Man mana bhava mad bhakta. Become my devotee. Always remember me. So, why we have to remember Krishna? Let's discuss on this point. 2 days before, I was giving a class in Gurukul, our Bhaktivedanta Gurukul. And we were reading the verse of the duties of the king, Prithu Maharaj. So I started from the shlok, Mrityu sarva haras chaham. I take everything at the time of death. So this is very significant. Krishna takes everything. So if Krishna takes everything, then what are we left when we are dying? What are we left with then? If Krishna takes everything, we are left with something. So we are left with only one thing. Dependency. Nirbharta. At the time of death, are we dependent on Krishna? Or are we dependent on the material energy, means this body? Are we dependent on our well-wishers, my relatives? Or are we dependent on the arrangement of Krishna? Are we remembering Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's holy name? Or are we remembering, oh, my bank balance or my children's? Haribol, either side. So these are the only thing we are left with, dependency. Because the whole aim of human life is to create dependency on the Lord. And we are here in this material world because we became independent of the Lord. So if throughout our life, if we don't remember Krishna, remember means we depend on Krishna. Why will I remember anyone if I'm not dependent on him? I'm not grateful of him. I won't remember him. Never, never. So remembering means depending on him. So are we living our life depending on Krishna? That's the question we must ask. If you are not, then forget that you will be remembering Krishna at the time of death. You will be remembering only your material energy, the material arrangement. You won't remember Krishna. Sorry. Because the time of death comes, or when you're close to death, this body won't do anything. Still it's not doing anything. You want to give it rest, you want to supply food, you want to decorate it. But when you're dying, when you're close, you're old, it won't move. You won't be able to speak anything. So in such a miserable situation, when you can't speak, you don't have strength, you can't walk, can you chant Hare Krishna? Right now we have strength. We have all facility. Some peace of mind, some stable mind. Still we are lazy in chanting Hare Krishna. What about at the time of death? And the body is not supporting to chant Hare Krishna. Not supporting to remember. Only helping you to experience the pain and suffering. So if you don't create dependency on the Lord in our life, forget about remembering Him. So the whole aim of spiritual life or bhakti is to create dependency on the Lord. Remember the pastimes of the Lord. This is what we are trying to do. Atheists are not able to understand Krishna. So Arjuna is asking for them, how can they be helped in understanding Krishna? That's why Krishna is speaking about his opulences. Oh, I'm shark, I'm banyan tree, I'm this, I'm that. Trying to understand arrangement of Krishna. And we see the natural arrangement, it's wonderful. If you see the natural arrangement, like now we are getting tankers from outside for filling the water in our septic or whatever tank that we have. Who is filling the water in the clouds? Gallons and gallons of water is flowing from one point to another without diesel. Only just by clouds are moving from one place to another. And they're distributing rains without any expenditure, without any loss. For us to shift something, we are exploiting your natural resources like anything. But Krishna, He lifts the water like vapors. He accumulates them. When the time comes, He distributes them. And He distributes properly. If Vrindavan gets a heavy rainfall, Vrindavan will be under sewage water. So that's why we have less rainfall, because the arrangement is not proper to conceive. And if we see other parts of Vrindavan, there is so much rainfall, but Vrindavan has very rainfall. But the location is not favorable. So Krishna has a proper arrangement, has a systematic arrangement for every living species. Why? Because He is Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. He is a well-wisher of everyone. Not us only as humans. He is well-wisher of cows, He is well-wisher of insects, He is well-wisher of lizards, of snakes, of every species that we see. Trees, everyone. Everyone. But we don't see that. Just like if you see farming nowadays, like people, they grow their wheat, when it's harvested, they burn it. They burn it. Why? So that another commercial crop can be grown. But what about cows? What about other species which are there on the land? Don't they have the right? They should not get their quota? But we don't think like that. We just think about ourselves. So we as human beings right now in the modern world of Kali Yuga are exploiters. We just know how to exploit. We don't know how to serve. And even after coming to bhakti, if you don't learn how to serve, then what's the point of coming to bhakti? Oh, I'm chanting my Hare Krishna, I have tilak, I have kanti, I have jane, I am a devotee. By initiation, are you becoming a devotee? You are initiated to become a devotee. When you get second initiation, you get initiated. You are starting now to become a brahmana. You don't become a brahmana by initiation. So now, bhar ka vastra to change ho gaya hai. We have changed our bhara vastra. What about inner, inside? Are we thinking anushilanam, favorable ways when we do activities? If we are not, then how can we remember Krishna? So the whole aim of our living, either we live in the city, we live on the farm, we are doing book distribution, we are doing management, we are doing flower garlands, any damn thing we do, we have to learn to depend on Krishna. I guess less garland, less flowers, this particular deity gets more flowers, so much partiality. Accept it and make your garlands. Accept the arrangement of Krishna and do your service. So we have to learn to be dependent on Krishna, some way or other. If you do book distribution, who wants your books? Nobody wants your books. But still we do that and we depend on Krishna and the book goes. The book gets distributed, easily get distributed. We are just going there and Krishna sends people who are waiting for those books. That's still devotees are coming. So that's what we have to do, depend on Krishna. Then only we can remember Krishna. So we have to see Krishna everywhere. In the clouds, in the rains, in the monkeys. Why do we have so many monkeys here? Because we are building so many buildings. So many construction is happening. So where are the trees now? There are no trees. So they are stealing someone's glasses so that they can get something to eat. Something to eat. So that's the arrangement of Krishna. Okay, you are destroying, then you suffer. You are destroying the trees, now you suffer the monkeys' havoc. So we have to, but no, what we make electrical fencing. What consciousness this represents? Challenging consciousness. We are challenging the arrangement of Krishna. Everywhere, this modern civilization is consciousness of challenging the arrangement of God. Pesticides, what does pesticide represent? Challenge the natural arrangement of Krishna. Krishna is not less intelligent. He knows how much to grow, how to grow. He has given you everything, but no, oh, I am so smart, I will make special chemical. I have a seed which is more better than Krishna's creation. And if we use that same conception in our life, in everything, then how can we be God conscious? That's why Krishna consciousness means first become conscious. So we have to become conscious of what we are doing in our life. How are we taking decisions? Based on Krishna's arrangement or based on the material energy? So, the arrangement of spiritual life, if we hear about that, it's not boring, it's beautiful. I was just reading Srila Prabhupada's letter. So in one letter, Srila Prabhupada writes about his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Prabhupada says that, my spiritual master has now entered into his Nitya Leela, into his eternal pastimes as a Manjari. His first letter. Even now, Srila Prabhupada writes in second letter, even now that my spiritual master has entered into his eternal pastimes, he is still seeing everything that I am doing. So what conception that we have? Someone dies, he's not there. Srila Prabhupada is saying that his spiritual master is still with him. He's still present behind him, looking over him. This can be only possible spiritually or with spiritual consciousness. Otherwise we cannot understand. We think, samne se gaya to gaya. No, it's not like that. He's still present. He's still looking over you. Why are we able to make devotees? Srila Prabhupada is not here. What purity do we have? We can ask ourselves. But still devotees are coming. Still people are becoming devotees. They are reading Prabhupada books. Who is doing this preaching right now? Once, one devotee of Srila Prabhupada, disciple of Srila Prabhupada says, Prabhupada, I am preaching in this college. I am preaching this college. What stopped him? Stop. You are not preaching. I am preaching. You are assisting. So still we are assisting Prabhupada's preaching. We are not preaching. Prabhupada is preaching by his books. What we are speaking to the devotees or the people that we meet, what Prabhupada says, we are speaking that. So still Prabhupada is active in our life. The form is Vani, in many forms which is transcendental. He is still present. Sometimes we are stressed and we open the book and we come across the page which really helps us in our life. Who arranges this? It's what Krishna's arrangement. So Krishna's arrangement is beautiful. It's not limited to time, space. It's beyond that. And we understand this, the significance of that. We can appreciate that. And we want to dedicate more and more and more. And the more we dedicate, the more we understand the beauty of this Krishna consciousness movement, which is expanding and expanding and expanding. So Krishna is telling Arjuna to be situated in pure devotional service. And Arjuna wants to hear more about Krishna. So in Bhagavatam, the shloka is mentioned from 1:19 that one can never be satiated even though one continuously hears the transcendental pastimes of Krishna. So in Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita class, even we hear for the first time, still we feel sleepy. Why are we feeling sleepy when we're speaking about Krishna? Because we are still attached to the mundane stories. कुछ पॉलिटिक्स की बातें होगी, ओ हाँ ऐसा ऐसा हुआ था, वो ऐसा ऐसा कर रहा है, उसकी टांग खींच रहा है, ये इसके साथ भाग गया, ये इसके साथ इसके ये चालू है. So much interesting nectar we get. But when we hear about Krishna, oh, I know Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill. What's new in that? So as long as we are attached to our material body, we'll be less interested in hearing pastimes of Krishna. We all know the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. The person who was in the rod, in the bamboo, with the 7 knots, what was his name? वो जब भागवत कथा सुनता है तो एक एक नॉट खुलते जाता है. हाँ? Dundakari, like. So he became a ghost due to his activities and he was in the rod. So his brother said, let me deliver my brother, and he arranged the Bhagavad Katha. 7-day Bhagavad Katha. Okay. Every one day the knot was opening. He was getting free from the clutches of bondage. On the 7th day of Bhagavad Katha, the Vaikuntha plane came for this Dhundari, like whatever his name is. And he went back to Godhead. So not only this person was hearing Bhagavad Katha, other people in the Sabha, many people were coming to hear Bhagavad Katha. And they were complaining, we were also in the Bhagavad Katha. Why there is no airplane for us? Why Krishna is cheating us? Then the devotee says, yes, you were there in the class, but you were not hearing intensely like this Dhundari. He was totally focused on the hearing because he wanted to get delivered. You say, you were not hearing for deliverance, hearing as a formality. So again, the arrangement was done for these devotees, these people, for 7 days. And again for everyone, the Vaikuntha plane came. Because they were hearing for deliverance. So Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Hearing of Bhagavat is seva. It's not attendance or sitting in the AC or passing your time or a formality. It's seva. Seva for what? For this soul, so that it can get delivered. It can get develop attraction towards Krishna. So if we sit in the class with this consciousness, even though the class is boring, yes, you can say class can be boring very many times, but one statement will come in the whole class which will attract you. If you take the statement and try to work on that statement, it will change our life. That's what Prabhupada says, every time hearing, every day hearing, morning and evening, both times. Why? Because it will help us. But what should be our mood when we sit in Bhagavad Gita? We are sitting for our deliverance. We want to be delivered. Why we are chanting Hare Krishna? Just a formality, we want to be delivered. And that intensity should not be on the waiting list till the end of our life. Budhape mein ekdam intensity badayenge. No, now, right now. We don't know when we will die. We don't know paralysis aa jayega body mein. We don't know. People, it happens with people. They get paralyzed. So we get paralyzed tomorrow then? मुंह हिलेगा नहीं, हाथ हिलेगा नहीं, तब क्या करोगे? So our intensity should be at the top every day, not at the old age, right now. So that's a big thing to ask. But if you are conscious that what we are here for, what are we looking for, then it's possible. Otherwise it's very, very difficult. That's why Dhruva Maharaj pastime is very interesting. Prabhupada says in the Purport, like, we should all learn from Dhruva Maharaj. At the age of 5, he was intense. Age of 5, small boy, got hurt by the words of his mother, stepmother. And he took it very seriously. And he went to the forest. Why he went to the forest? Because her mother told him that only Krishna can save you. Whatever you want, Krishna can provide. Because he is Dina Bandhu. He is helper of the people who are like in the very low situation. So Dhruva Maharaj went. Narad Muni came and said, oh, why are you here? Small boy, go back. Dhruva Maharaj was so serious. He said, if I have anything good to say, then say. Otherwise, go ahead. Aage chalo. Aage chalo. So serious in seeing Krishna. You should be serious like that. If I have anything to say to me which is helping me in Krishna conscious, say. Otherwise, aage bado. I don't want to hear from you. So Narad Muni understood like, oh, he is not like a small boy. He is very serious, very determined to see Krishna. Then he instructed him to chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, worship him and follow the yoga process. And within few months, Dhruva Maharaj disturbed the whole universe. We are also creating disturbance, but what's the impact of us? It's limited to just one department. But Dhruva Maharaj disturbed the whole universe by his tapasya. Demigods approached Brahma, please help us. We can't even breathe. This 5-year boy disturbed the whole universe. And Krishna came, gave him darshan, and then Dhruva Maharaj understood that what he was asking was broken glasses of material desires. But after that, Dhruva Maharaj was not like, oh, I achieved Krishna, I saw Krishna, that's it. Now no bhakti. No. Every day he was doing his bhakti. Every day he was conscious what he has to do. Every day he was conscious of his duties as a king and as a sadhaka. And then when the time came, when he's about to leave the body, he just left it like anything. So we should also be ready to leave everything when the time comes. We should not be attached to the situation that we are in. This is a temporary situation. This body is also a temporary situation. Our relationship are also temporary. We should not be attached to it. When the time comes to sacrifice, we should be ready for it. That's why we hear Bhagavad Katha. Why? Because we learn from the life of Bhagavad. When Srila Prabhupada, his wife, she was so much addicted to tea. She sold the transcripts of Bhagavad Gita. Then he said, either tea or me. And she selected tea, and Prabhupada just left her, immediately. Never looked back. Never looked back. That should be our intensity every day. What will help me to go towards Krishna more closer? What will helping me? Because in Krishna consciousness or in spiritual life, either you are going up or you are going down. You can't say, I'm fixed. That's an illusion. Oh, I'm stable. No, you are not stable. Even Jad Bharat Maharaj, was at the stage of bhava, one step back of prema. Still he fall down. He was above the stage of nishta and everything. Still he fell down. So what about us? So we can go up or we can go down. So we have to be conscious of what we are doing every day. Abhyasa yogena. This is abhyas. This is practice. When Srila Prabhupada was walking in his quarters in Los Angeles, chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And he saw the photo of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. And we all know, old body, back is bent. Prabhupada says, so old, but still chanting Hare Krishna. What was the message? You can't think, oh, I'm 20 years old devotee, I'm 50-year-old, but still you have to chant Hare Krishna. Still you have to chant Hare Krishna. We were hearing the memorial program of His Holiness Kadam Kanam Swami Maharaj few days back. Maharaj was not able to breathe. He was not able to speak anything. But still he was completing his rounds in the whole day. When he was not able to speak, he was chanting in his mind and saying, 5 rounds completed. Sometimes he used to wake up early in the morning, complete his rounds. After a few days, he was not able to chant his rounds also because it was so much pain. Can't sleep in the night due to tumors. Can't be peaceful because low breath. So much struggle. And one day, his massage disciple, the one massage servant, he went and was massaging. And Maharaj stopped him. Why? Because he was doing his Gayatri. This 2 days back when he was leaving his body. Not able to talk, but he was doing his Gayatri. Still sadhaka. At the time of death. So we should be sadhaka now. We should be sadhaka at the time of death also. We can't say, oh, 40 years, quota complete kar diya rahega maine apne chanting ka. No. We have to daily complete our quota. He said in the last message, it should be like a message written on this stone, inscribed in stone. Daily chanting, daily reading, daily hearing, daily serving. This is what we have to do. Otherwise, it's difficult to do at that time. I was saying him, if I'm in that situation, I won't be chanting. Seriously, I won't be chanting. But why such people, such great devotees are able to do that? Because abhyasa yogena, every day they do that. They did that throughout their life. Bhajan every day. That's why they are able to do at the time of death. So we have to prepare ourselves for the time of death, which we don't know when it's going to come. It can come today or tomorrow. We have to prepare. Because that will be our final exam. Whatever bhakti that you are showing now, oh, I am a big bhakta, oh, I am a pure bhakta, it's said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, all will be visible at the time of death. What bhakti you did, what sannyas you were, everything will be visible at the time of death. All bhakti will come up. Everything will come up. Nothing will be hidden. Everything will be visible. So we can't fake. We cannot be a pretender. At the time of death, it will be visible. So let's be genuine right now. Let's try to do our bhakti properly. And then we can do. So we should never be tired of hearing about Krishna. We should never be tired of hearing about His holy name. Because right now we are sick. We are sick with this material disease. The skin disease, Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita. It's skin disease. That's why we are not getting taste when we chant Hare Krishna. Just like when someone has jaundice, even if you give him sweet, still it will be like salty or like very sour taste. But still, what's the solution? You take more sweet, more sweet, more sweet. So this is what we have to do. We have to pour in our life more Krishna consciousness. And there are many ways we can pour Krishna consciousness. Attending Mangala Arati, we start our day with Mangala Arati. Mangala, auspicious. Focusing on the mission of Prabhupada, focusing on the mission of our spiritual master. That's Mangala Arati. Then we chant Hare Krishna, because we gave our vows of chanting Hare Krishna. Then we hear Bhagavad Katha. I'm struggling, but how these devotees, how they endeavored, let me hear about them. What is Bhagavatam? It's all about Bhagavat. It's all about Bhagavat, their dedication towards Krishna. So how they are dedicated? So this will inspire us, because only inspiration will help us to maintain our vows. Only inspiration will help us to maintain our purity. Nothing else. We cannot dictate, oh, karo, karna padega. Duty is very heavy. This is my duty. But if someone inspires us, we voluntarily do surrender. We voluntarily try to do something. So we have to keep inspiring ourselves. How? By doing the morning program. That's what we have to do. Try to do our morning program as much as possible. Even if you are sick, do morning program at your home. Wake up early, start chanting your rounds. Oh, I not waking up for Mangalarati. Oh, why have to chant then in the morning? This is our mentality. I'll chant later in the day. नहीं चलेगा. एक दिन मैं 2 बजे उठूंगा और चैंटिंग करूंगा. अगले दिन आज 2 बजे उठा नहीं, मैं चैंटिंग नहीं करूंगा कि 2 बजे अच्छी चैंटिंग होती है. That's our mentality. This is how the mind plays with us. Whatever time you wake up, 5 o'clock, you still complete your rounds. And satatam, every day you have to do it. Every day, every day. Then only we can think about taste. Sadhana bhakti and then raga nuga bhakti. That rag will come later. Let's fix ourselves in sadhana. It will come. It will automatically come. His Holiness Jayadeva Swami Maharaj was saying that when Maharaj was in his final days, Kadam Kanan Maharaj, somebody was so absorbed, he was smiling. His face was smiling, it was glowing. Because he might be remembering some past times. So everything will come. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. Let's develop taste for Nama at least. Then we'll be attracted to the Rupa. Then the qualities, Guna, and Leela will be visible. We all know that's the stage of when you advance in bhakti. You can see the pastimes of the Lord. But right now you can feel ecstasy when you see the qualities of Krishna, how merciful He is. We left Krishna. We all left Krishna. Still He is within our heart to help us. Imagine if someone is kicking you on the face, you nonsense, I don't want you. Stay away from me. तुम मुझे अपनी लाइफ में चाहिए नहीं, आप मुझे चाहिए अपनी लाइफ में. भगा दिया. फिर भी वो व्यक्ति, that person comes to your life and is helping you. Sometimes he's helping you in the background, sometimes he's helping in the foreground. It's the quality to be appreciative. Krishna is such a person. Each and every life is within our heart. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev. We are wandering in the universe in different ways. Sometimes dog, cow, monkey, lizard, snake. Every species is in our body as Paramatma, trying to help us. Please do some bhakti. Again, waiting for an opportunity to do bhakti. What happened with Ajamil? Ajamil did some nice Brahmana activities initially, doing every Brahmana activity, doing Gayatri, doing chanting. But he got lost. Just like we got lost. He got lost. He fell into the trap of this prostitute. He left all good habits. He was killing people, cheating people just for earning some few livelihood, maintaining his livelihood, and was astray from the path of righteousness. What did Krishna do? Krishna sent sadhu in his life, and they suggested him, please, last bacha hai, keep his name Narayan. And somehow or other, Ajamil agreed. Okay, theek hai. If you are saying I will keep Narayan, something from the culture, namesake. And he developed so much attachment to the small baby, even though he called Narayan his baby, still Krishna took the opportunity. Oh, now I've got a chance. He took Narayan, even though he's not calling me, the intention is not for me, still I will deliver him. And Krishna said, he's Vishnu Dutas, deliver this guy. So Krishna is making arrangement. Krishna wants us to go back to Godhead. is making arrangement every step of our life. We are not able to see that. If we start seeing that, we'll start developing love for him. Automatically, even if you don't want to, it will come. So let's try to see Krishna in our life. Let's try to see arrangement of Krishna in our life. In pain and pleasure, in both. We are seeing Krishna in our pleasure only, not in our pains. But pains are very good lessons to learn, which will help us to mature. Like someone saying, I pray Krishna for making things easy. Or like, I pray Krishna to make me mature. Krishna is sending me difficulties. So this is Krishna. He's so rhythm. He's always your well-wisher. Accept it. And then when we see it, we can see it's God of hand, like hand of God. He's always there to interfere in our life. And when we chant Hare Krishna, when we are connected to the parampara, why not will he be in our life? He is in our life. So let's try to see Krishna through his opulence, to his pastimes, to his actions in our life. And let's try to appreciate Krishna. And then we can remember him, and then we can depend on him. So, Hare Krishna. Any questions or any comments? We have 5 to 8 minutes, if anything. Anything? कोई question, कोई comment? सब कुछ आ गया या कुछ भी नहीं आया? सब कुछ समझ में आ गया? No problem. Yeah. So now we have Sandhya Arati. Let's go Sandhya Arati. Let's dance in Sandhya Arati. Go back, read Krishna book and sleep, and again wake up next morning. Simple life. What else we want? We only want that we can do bhakti. Let's create our life in such a way that we can do our bhakti peacefully. Let's situate ourselves in a position we can do our bhakti peacefully. Don't go for like something material. It's never going to last. Let's go for something eternal, bhakti, which is eternal. So let's make our arrangement, mold our life in such a way. And Krishna is there to help us. Okay. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samasta Bhakta Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.